Hey, it's Bill with a brief screen recording on how to use Google Meet if you don't use Google Classroom. So if you don't use Classroom, you'll want to set up your Meet likely ahead of time so that you can get people the code and they'll be able to join in on your Meet. But if you don't do that, you could start the Meet and send them the code right after as the meeting is starting. Now you could do that as well. But let's look at how you'd get the code ahead of time. So I'm going to go to Google Calendar. So I can launch up Calendar by using my dots, or I have Calendar open already. So I'm signed in with my school account. I'm at Calendar, and let's just say I want to make a meet for this day and time. So I just click on it, and I can add an event. So I'll call it my class meet. Right, I'll make sure I put it on the appropriate calendar. And the big thing you want to do here is this add Google Meet video conferencing. So I'll make sure my time and date are correct. I can always change those. And I want to go ahead and add this Meet conferencing. And here it gives me this information. It made a Meet code for me. There's my code. I can copy that down, this last part of it, send that out to people, or I could send them the entire link. Right, so I just hit this drop down arrow and here's my meeting ID. I can go ahead and right click on that and copy it. Copy link address, and I can send this out with my class remind, email. However I get in touch with parents, I can send them, hey, we're going to have a class meet at 12:30 using this code. On their end, they're going to have to either have Google Chrome installed on their computer. They can type in this link into Chrome, and that'll let them join. If they're not signed into a Google account, let's take a look and see how that might work. I'm going to hit these three dots, and I'm going to launch an incognito window, so I'm not signed into anything. And let me just go ahead and paste this meeting in and see what happens. All right, so it's going to ask me about allowing my microphone and camera. I'll go ahead and do that. And it's asking because I'm not signed into anything, I'm going to go ahead and put in my name. All right, and they have the options of leaving video on or off. And then I can request to join. So if I hit request to join, I might get an error that the meeting hasn't started. But as the teacher of the meeting, as long as I've started the meeting on my end, I will get a notification that someone is trying to join the meeting, and I can go ahead and admit them. Let's go ahead and switch back to that screen and see how that looks. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn off the mic here so we don't get a lot of echo. We'll minimize. So this person is still waiting to come in to my meeting. Oh, okay. So, all right. I forgot to save, so I will save my appointment. It's set. But now I'm back in my teacher account, and I can actually go ahead and start the meeting. So let me start up a fresh tab. I'm going to paste that same meeting address in. I'll turn off the mic and camera for these also so that we don't have any kind of problem. So let me go ahead and start up the meeting. So as the teacher, I should be the first one there. Right now I'm here, and I see it says someone wants to join this meeting. So that's what you're going to see if people aren't signed in to their school accounts. So I can go ahead and admit that person. And now I have this other person in my chat. You can kind of see that here they are, and I have options. Right, if I hit this little drop down, if it turns out this is an error, or maybe this person has trouble signing off at the end of the chat, here's this little minus key. I can kind of go ahead and dismiss this person from the chat. It kind of closes them out of the meet. All right, the other tip that I have is if you do want to see a bunch of people at the same time, maybe there's a whole class full of people, you can hit these three dots and you can change your layout. And you can use this new tiled view, which I believe gives you up to 16 people at one time, so you can see up to 16 people. Since it's your school account, you should be the last one to leave the room. If there's any problem with people not realizing how to hang up, maybe they're not as familiar how to do that. Like when I'm moused over, I don't see the hang up button. I have to mouse over my screen. I can hit the hang up. That would end the chat. Or since I'm the creator of this Meet, I can go ahead and click on here, and I could say, well, it's time for it to end. I'm just going to go ahead and remove people I'm hanging up for them. Right now that person's not in here anymore. I'm the last one in. I can hit the hang up button, and that ends that call. So hopefully that answers a couple of the questions about do people have to sign in with their account? No, they don't. I can use this admit button and let them in. And I can also get them. But the most important thing is I need to get them the meeting ID, which I can get from my calendar. As long as I set it up on the calendar, I just go ahead and open up this Meet, and I can go ahead and see what my Meet code is. I can go ahead and copy it, send it to people. They also, if they don't have a computer, they could at least join in by audio if they dial the number and this identification number. They could also use a smartphone or a tablet. If they download the free Google Meet app, they could put it on there, and they can join with your code if you give them that last part of the code. All right, hopefully that helps out. Hopefully everyone's staying healthy and well, and we'll talk to everyone again soon.